Hi, I'm Megan Lertz, expert in financial psychology and lover of all things emotion and money. It actually has a lot to do with your financial journey, has a lot to do with how you feel. When you simply feel better, about your money, when you feel more confident, when you have some satisfaction and self-efficacy towards your financial life, then this is ultimately what has the greatest downstream impact on things like banking and credit and investing. So, why does that matter to things like then like where does our confidence come from? If that's what's so important, where does this confidence come from? And a lot of it has to do with how we were brought up with money. Our money history, if you will. And so I want to encourage you to think about, what did you learn about money? What did you not learn about money? Who taught you those things about money or didn't teach you those things about money? And I caution you, or certainly encourage you, to tread lightly, to not label what your experience was, but instead be curious about your experience. Again, our money histories, have brought us to this point, and this point, determines or has a connection with our confidence in moving forward. And so instead of just labeling everything that happened in the past as bad or good or helpful or unhelpful, to simply get curious about what happened, who taught us, and what do we want different going forward. Sometimes when we bring that subconscious conscious, now we have a totally different awareness of what we learned. And when we have a totally different awareness of what we learned, we can decide how much we want that to come into our knowledge or how much we don't. And I'll give you an example. In my money history, it was very common that my family would say things like, women have to have their own money. And this is a really good thing. I'm not saying that that's a bad lesson. But one thing that came forward out of that was, it was more like a warning than it was a positive marching message. It was a warning. And so, flash forward in my life, I was in a relationship with my now husband. And by the time we were unmarried, and we decided to buy a house together. And he was standing across the living room. I can still remember this moment, standing across the room. And he says, hey, we should probably combine our bank accounts. And I could feel the rage, the heat moving from like my toes all the way up to my nose. And I remember saying to him, why do you want to do that? You want to control me with your money? You want to try to control my money? I was like, I will never own a bank account with you. Flash forward to like years later, I'm in a financial therapy course, and I'm investigating my financial history, what I learned from my great grandmother and my grandmother and my mother, what I learned from my father, my great grandfather, and my great great grandfather. What did I learn from these people, and how does that influence who I am today? And I recognized that putting these two moments together, being upset with my then boyfriend, but now having this full awareness of where that story came from, where that rage came from, and why. Now I looked at the situation totally differently. And so I encourage you again, not to label what happened, but to be curious about what happened and think to yourself, how is this right? How is this wrong? How does this serve me? How does this not serve me? And then from that place, I guarantee you will have more confidence in moving forward. Good luck.